I want to talk about loving the time you spend with yourself. I think in today's day and age where everybody's kind of, addicted to social media and, running around trying to do the next best thing, we kind of lose sight of our own individuality. And groupthink is an actual thing. Like if you're in a group setting or even in like a classroom setting, you're more likely to adopt the antics and the behaviors of those that you're immersed around. And while that's good for general social conditioning, it's not so good in terms of stifling your own internal creativity and your individuality. And so, loving the time you spend with yourself, you should consider it kind of like a sacred practice. Like, you don't have to be religious or anything like that, but when you have free time to yourself, you shouldn't just do whatever you can to stifle that or cut it off by getting on TikTok or calling a friend necessarily. Now it's great. I mean, yes, it's fine to get on social media, here and there, and to talk to a friend. Don't get me wrong, but if you actually can sit with yourself and think, introspectively about your place in the universe and where you want to go, and not necessarily fight against those feelings of boredom and needing a dopamine hit, you'll find out new things about yourself. You'll find that, like, oh, maybe I'm actually not so into that particular relationship, or maybe I actually want to do this for a career, because you're giving yourself that space. And then when you actually extend that to actually like going for like walks in nature, where you're not only communing with your own thoughts, but you're communing with the outside world, where it's like very peaceful, then you can build into yourself a more, resolute, calm personality. Because if you're just always, responding or reacting to the various stimuli that are coming across your life, and everything is always busy and you always have to be doing something, again, you lose sight of that individuality. And you only get one true relationship in this life, and that is with yourself. You might have a significant other and you love them to death, and but that's only for so long. It's only when you're together, but you're always with yourself. And so this is just almost like a message both to everybody out there, but also to me, because I find myself wanting to just dive into the social media scape, or I find myself always wanting to read a book or whatever. And, while that's good, to a certain extent, actually sitting with your thoughts and just thinking about who you are and where you're going, while that might appear unproductive, I think is actually a very valuable thing that you can begin to implement into your life. So love yourself. Understand that the relationship you have with yourself trumps everything else, because you're stuck with yourself. Whether you like you or not, like, you might as well get used to you. And loving yourself can mean just doing things that actually speaks to your heart. Like, not always following the crowd. If you're always around a group of people, you're more likely to do what they're doing. Find time in the day, find time in the week to take time for yourself and to learn to appreciate. You can listen to music, you can draw, you can journal, you can do whatever you want. But as long as it's just you and your thoughts are going, you'll begin to find creative, outlets, or you'll begin to introspectively determine what it is that you actually care about and want in life. And that's so much more valuable than constantly being led by the herd mentality. So don't, obfuscate or partition or segregate your life to just this little menial thing, but actually take care of it. Again, look at it as like a sacred habit where you give honor to yourself and you care about your alone time, because building a great relationship with yourself is so valuable to your overall happiness in life. So see you all in the next one.